Hey guys, it's Meg. What's up? What's poppin'? Welcome back to the podcast. There are places on this planet where people seem to vanish. So what are some ghost towns that still exist? And originally I had all these sources picked out and I realized there are so many abandoned and ghost towns that we could do a whole nother podcast episode on this. So instead, we're going to use one source, and it is loseTheMap.com, and it is 8 scariest ghost towns in the world. And the first one we have is Bodie, California. This town was a former gold mining town that was full of cowboys, families, and gunslingers. In 1879, it had 10,000 residents and over 2,000 structures. But as gold mining started to become less popular and less of a steady job, a lot of people were actually leaving the town. In the 1890s, a fire destroyed a huge part of the town. And then in 1932, another fire took out 10% of the city. So between all of that, and also the fact that they had a lot of cold winters, very hot summers, there was no food, water, or wood nearby, and there was a lot of crime and violence in the city. A lot of people abandoned and left, and in 1990s, it was 100% abandoned, but a lot of the structures that were left behind kind of like preserved, and it almost looks like you're stepping back in time, and you can actually go and visit the town today. The next one, I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Varosha. I think it's Varosha. And then in parentheses, it said Famagusta in North Cyprus. So Turkey invaded Cyprus in 1974, which led to 40,000 residents fleeing and never returning. You can still actually visit this abandoned place, which is still looking the same as it did in 1974 because they never touched it. Turkey invaded it and then everyone fled, and it was just left there. Now, a lot of these cities, I should preference this, a lot of them are like you go for a tour guide, you have to pay a fee, but some of them are just like go completely 100% abandoned. So the next location, number 3, Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario. This is considered one of the most haunted places in the Niagara region, and it's still somewhat functioning. So the historic Fort George, where ghostly soldiers are rumored to still patrol. And then there's the Old Angel Inn and the Prince of Wales Hotel, which are both haunted by different restless spirits that seem to never have left the hotels. Hey, what's up? It's Editing Meg, and I got curious to see how much roughly it would cost to stay at night at each of these hotels. So at the Old Angel Inn, it ranges from $200 to $400 a night. And then at the Prince of Wales Hotel, it ranges from the same $200 to $400. But for the Prince of Wales Hotel, when I tried to go on their official page to book, I got stuck in a queue and I got out of it. I'm going to be honest. I was a little too scared, but it's crazy. It's that popular that you are entered into a queue to get a room. Number 4, Hashima Island, Japan, which is also known as Battleship Island. So originally, this island was strictly for coal mining, and it was very big and very popular, but it was shut down in 1975 when coal mining started to become less popular. And it was basically just left abandoned for years, many, many, many years. But in 2009, they started doing tours of the place, but you literally have to sign a waiver because the ocean to get there is like extremely rough waters. And then also while you're there, the place is like falling apart and there's debris everywhere. So you have to sign a waiver stating that you know it's dangerous to be there. Isn't that crazy? Number 5, I didn't write where this was. Number 5, I only wrote Bramber Castle. Hold on, let's look it up where it is right now. It is a castle in England. Yeah, it's in the United Kingdom. I guess I just never wrote where the castle was. I just wrote Bramber Castle, and I don't know if that's because that's what the website had. But this castle, they claim, was originally built in 1073, and it was founded by Norman William de Barossi, but they're saying that this castle could be prehistoric, or at least parts of it. Now, this place is extremely haunted, supposedly, and you can give it a tour. Supposedly, the ghosts of William's wife and children are here because they were left to starve by King John. And then in the 15th century, Lady Maud lived there at the castle, and she had a younger man named de Linfield, and it is believed that Lady Maud was having an affair with this person. So they claim that they were caught, and because of that, de Linfield was walled in the castle as punishment. I tried looking up what it means to be walled in a castle, and if I looked it up right, it could potentially mean that you were literally enclosed into the castle. Like, you're put into an enclosed space without any exits or any things to survive, basically. And it is said that his ghost, his horse's ghost, and Lady Maud's ghost have been seen there. Number 6, Grafton, Utah. This was once a small, thriving Mormon community, but during World War II, they abandoned the place for better opportunities. However, there are still 4 remaining homes that you can look at. There's a couple barns, and there's gravestones. They left behind the dead. Number 7, I think it's pronounced Belchite, Spain. In 1937, the Spanish Civil War caused a battle in this city between nationalist and Republican forces, which left the town in ruins. Like, the place got literally destroyed. And instead of rebuilding it, General Francisco Franco left it as a monument to his victory and a warning to those who tried to go against him. And it is said that this place looks frozen and feels frozen in time, that there's still crumbling buildings, there's abandoned streets, and there's church remains, homes, and plazas. And the very last one, which actually blows my mind completely, is, and it's pretty famous, I feel like a lot of people know of this place, Chernobyl, Ukraine. So on April 26, 1986, a nuclear reactor exploded, releasing dangerous amounts of radiation. And obviously, because of all this radiation, the place had to be abandoned. But today, I don't know when this article was actually published. There was a comment from January 17th of 2025, which is this year, if you're listening to it when the podcast episode comes out. But I don't fully know when this was actually published and written. But supposedly, like today in 2025, you can stay in the outer zone overnight. And you can even go on tours to the inner zone, but only for a limited time, because they said that the radiation levels have decreased to basically about the same amount you would as if you got an X-ray. I was wondering if you still need to wear a hazmat suit to tour this place, and honestly the answers were varying. Some sites were saying that you still need to wear a hazmat suit, but others were saying that you just need to wear clothing that covers your skin, and then at the end you get tested for radiation when the tour is over. So if you do go, you can still see the abandoned factories, the buildings, and the famous Ferris wheel. Which, why was there even a Ferris wheel? Like, how did the Ferris wheel stay standing? I don't know about you, but I was curious why there was a Ferris wheel. And apparently it was because there was an amusement park that was scheduled for its grand opening in May, but it never got the chance to open because of the nuclear explosion. So they literally built this whole amusement park for the people that lived there, and then the explosion happened like a few days before the grand opening. That is so unfortunate. But even more crazier fact about this place, people are now living there again. About 200 people live in the outer zone because it's safe to live in the outside part. Which is literally crazy to me, because you think Chernobyl, you think of like the nuclear explosion, you think of the chemicals, you think of how mutations, like people were literally coming up with theories that there was going to be like mutations coming out of this area. And now there's people living in it again. That blows my mind. But those are some 8 scary ghost towns that you actually can explore every single one of, which is kind of cool. Now we're gonna go into our affirmation of the week, but I do need to go grab the deck really quickly. And again, it's Spooktober, so we're still gonna be using The Whispering Woods Enchanting Secrets from the Forest by Jessica Lee. Let me just take out the card from last week's episode because I didn't take a picture yet. And now let's cue some ASMR shuffling that we already know is not ASMR shuffling, but I'm gonna keep saying that. And so far, every episode we've done for Spooktober, it's kind of been really on brand with the theme, so I'm really hoping we get something like spooky or scary. What the heck was that noise? Oh, I said scary, and I think my thing thought I said SIRI. That was spooky. I hope that kind of got on the podcast episode. Let's see, what is our affirmation for the week? It doesn't, but it's still fun. So let's cue the drum roll, please. Growth. The tallest oak tree once started as a seedling. Don't be afraid to start something new. I low-key feel personally attacked by this. And this was supposed to be for the podcast, not for me personally. But anyways, that's our episode. So, the next time that you're hearing about a place that might be a little ghostly, might be a little abandoned, just know there once was probably people who lived there and called that home, but something happened that caused them to flee. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Hey Guys, It's Meg. You can follow Hey Guys, It's Meg_podcast on Instagram for updates and good times. Come back next Monday for, unfortunately, our last episode of Spooktober, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be on a book that I found in my room randomly that might have to do with spells. I'll see y'all on the flip side. Peace out, Girl Scouts.